Hi, it's Mild Red Songbird in New York City. Mild Red Bird Song. This is Mild Red, and this is a Michael Raker, who is Carlos Castaneda, standing before Orlando Rodriguez's sign. Happy St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick was Eve Mild Red's daughter, Melanie L. Spear. This is a young man who works at her favorite Indian restaurant. Guru Nanak founded Sikhism was Eve Mild Red. She and this young boy have a great relationship. They have eye sex all the time. When she doesn't come there, he scolds her. He misses her. But it's a long walk in the cold, so she usually goes across the street to her husband's at Subway, and Dwayne Reed to her friends. This is one of the collages I did. This is Jesus Christ going to sing this life. Father Tom, who founded St. Francis of Assisi. This is St. Francis. This is Eve. Guru Nanak. Muhammad's follower. Tariq. Charlton Heston and Charlton Heston. He's here in the vegetarian group. Over here, he's in the writing group, the most important group in the whole place, because they write what's in them, they express themselves, then they discuss it so they can understand that part of themselves. There's no greater work than to know thyself. This is Velma, who has come out of her shell, and now she talks. She was a legal assistant, but she lost the love of her life and was grief-stricken for a while. She is also in the writing group, which has helped her to come outside her shell. This is a collage I did that Sheila, I don't have a picture. Oh, here's Sheila. Sheila Leonard Bernstein, who wrote the West Side Story, is now the art director here at St. Francis of Assisi. So she put my collages around and displayed them. I'm very grateful. She also helped me know what medium to use. You know, the iridescent glue and canvas and all of that. Okay, let's begin. See, where shall I'll leave the camera on the collage because there's the most to see there. Babaji, even the score. Just Babaji, Jesus Christ. You can tell by his turban. His disciples treated me as though I didn't exist. This is in North Carolina. The first wish of my mommy, she tried to abort me. She wished I didn't exist. But Jesus Christ's disciples are supposed to know better than this. They're supposed to love the battered Mild Red and supposed to love Mild Red, the battered and torn. My mother had to throw stones. Okay, I'll show you how I got this. Saint ST1ONE solution. Saint Tones, no true home, stayed loyal to the order. His loyalty to the devil he could see. Now we're talking about Tony Williams, Anthony Tony Williams, who created a website, Tones something create space. And so what Tony did was, and he had been adopted instead of aborted. I had him adopted, but unofficially adopted. There were no papers. There was just honor between us. I would not disrupt their lives. So loyal to the order, Tony's loyalty to the devil. His other mother, compared to Eve, was like a devil because she drank beer and smoked cigarettes and wouldn't let him read of the mystics of the East. He could see beer and smokes and dance as a jokes, which dance is really a form of sex, or at least the precursor to sex. Tony, flatlining, is trying dying as dining on the dead, as though actually as ugly as a fish head with eyes intact, life it lacked, but clacked his fingers. Radhasammy, Arthur Radha Eswasamy, in San Francisco, that's Michael Spear, my husband, acts as a stronger to the family without being a part of their Einstein tree. Eve is Einstein. He's a stepfather to the children, except one. A sentimental schmo. He quit his job and stopped work on his PhD. He ran back to the 1960s. Haight-Ashbury in San Francisco. No fan of the Cisco Kid. Killer ID. He had before killed Eve, the woman who once before had been shared her life's good deeds. Okay, he killed Eve when she was Marie Antoinette, and he was a guillotine operator. Then he cut out from being the head of her family. Oh, I missed that part. Let's go here. So he cut off her head, Eve's head, when she was as Marie Antoinette. Then he cut out from being the head of her family when she was the Michelle Birdsong Nugent. This was a dark-skinned girl that my husband Michael had liked, an actress. She was in the movie Shangri-La. France Nugent, that was her name. Without a sarong. Michelle Birdsong was France Nugent without a sarong. Without a wrong song. Michelle was a songwriter. She got no rewards. Michelle got no rewards. Her energy, Stevie Wonder, War Road, Wardrobe, arose against Einstein versus Hitler. In World War II, Einstein had Roosevelt build a bomb to stop Hitler, which it saved stopped the war in the Pacific, and so the Dwight D. Eisenhower forces could stop the war in Germany by bombing Germany, and Harry Truman, who was Sing Birdsong, gave the order to drop the bomb that Einstein had talked Roosevelt into having built. So the three of them, Einstein, Roosevelt, and Eisenhower, and MacArthur too, saved the world during World War II from Hitler, who is now Stevie Wonder. Heaven Isaacs, Eve Tatler, pleasure. Eve gets to tell the history of what's happened, and she receives pleasure giving people knowledge. In St. Valentine, Gloria Spine. Find me, Ostara Gloria says. I need my heart's line. Talk and share me back to my prime. Ostara Gloria is my great-grandmother, who is in the hands of Satan because she wants to pay off the karma for when her daughter was being sexually molested. That's Melanie L. Spear, Christopher Columbus. And she turned a blind eye to her because she didn't know how to survive with her 5 children without a husband. At that day and age, it wasn't done. Women had no alternatives. So she became Sally Ride, who was a part of the hoax that we traveled to outer space to give women hope, even though it was false hope. She knew the women would be inspired to lead lives where they would ensure either they'd be very careful about who they married and had children with. My mother said, marry who you want, but watch who you have your babies by. So they would, before they brought new DNA to the world, they would be careful about who they had babies with. And my mother followed her own advice because she had me, despite her changing her mind at the last minute. It was too late. I was already conceived by the colored god, G-O-D, of the town. And so his DNA helped me become a strong woman and a moral woman. And my sister was conceived by my mother's husband, who came from a cursed family, C-U-R-S-E-D. He studied to be a part of the hearse that drives a dead body to the cemetery. His name was Kenneth Anderson, and he was an alcoholic who ruined the magic of kissing for me, because at 6 years old, he spit in my mouth so much spit that I became disgusted with the French kiss. Alright, let's continue. The snake crawled on her belly throughout her early years. The snake being Eve. She had to become a snake because she couldn't stand up. Her mother would knock her down with her mouth, say something so hurtful that she'd fall down. Couldn't stand her own ground. Her mother knocked the legs out from under her when she was 5 years old. When she was Guru Nanak, as they cut off her feet, when her mother wouldn't give her feedback on her speech for 8th grade English speech called, "Why Should We Struggle for Freedom? Is it because we're black?" Black. Though she was yellow, she identified as black. Black. Identity. See? B, a person who lacks identity. She had to crawl on her belly for all, black and white, and homosexuals and straights, for cripples, bedridden, March and Gower champions. Didn't they ice skate? She made sure her children knew how to ice skate too. Later, after marriage, she took the children on a journey through Notting Hill, Silk Stocking District, busted the boarding school mystery, gave her children a history of first-class, upper-class districts beyond what her mother could compare as fairy tale. Like, this is supposed to be a fairy, right? Fairy tale existence for her children. The best of the West and India being ruled by Gurinder Singh, Jesus Christ, spiritually, for the nice, or for the ones the Father had marked to return to burn for eternity in bliss. I hope Michael saves his soul and comes back into the fold. Michael is the other father. He will be a dance prancer and a narrator. Michael John Spear singing Robin's other daddy. He being Michael John Spear singing Robin's other daddy. And pull Melanie in as a female narrator. Talking about the musical, Mr. and Mrs. Jesus Christ. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer was Jandara. Trusts her granddaddy is Michael John Spear. She slept with him when he was naked, and she was a little girl, and he never touched her inappropriately. She learned not all men are rapists and pedophiles. On dancer, on prancer. Get on board. Stop being bored. Gary Bird, G for Gary, B for bored. Gary Bird says I'm an idiot. Himself is an idiot. Gary Bird is heard to have mumbled. Be numbered. Her. Number one, I could have been the one who believed. Now this is Gary Bird mumbling. Who believed Jesus Christ was being born as B. Einstein's kin with 4 planets in Pisces, talk and share, and his mother, he's within. So this is saying that Gary Bird had a chance to be a friend to Einstein, which is Eve, and who is Jesus Christ's mother. And if he would have believed that Jesus Christ was within his mother, which was supposed to be his friend, and you believe your friend, I could have been, says Gary Bird, as much a friend as she had been. She had been such a friend to Gary Bird that she had turned him on to Jesus Christ without naming him as Jesus Christ, but just showing him Jesus Christ's power. So he hooked up with Jesus Christ, and Jesus Christ said he would save his life. But Gary didn't believe in Jesus Christ, the name Jesus Christ. So when he found out his master name was really Jesus Christ, he didn't stand up and accept him. He didn't keep the faith. He broke the faith. And he turned against a friend. He had lived under Jesus Christ's power for 40 years. Okay, but he didn't count that. I hope I'm clear. I'm clear in my head. I hope I'm being clear to you. Gary Bird says, I could have taken her in, meaning me, Eve, pregnant, the mother, with Jesus Christ inside her. I could have saw to it her babies had a safe haven to be born in. The babies are Jesus Christ and are in. I ignored her dignified asks for help, and so the babies didn't have the okay to be born on the love day, St. Valentine's Day. The babies were supposed to be born on St. Valentine's Day because Gary wouldn't take us in. We had no place to be. So the babies chose not to come to be with no place to be. That makes total sense. Once again, Ptolemy, Gary Bird is Ptolemy, didn't believe in astrology. All that Pisces, you got 4 planets in Pisces, should have had Gary Bird, who calls himself Imhotep, out of step with Eve, the real woman, the real mother. Gary Bird as Herod, he was Herod too. They call him King Herod. Herod was not a king. Gary Bird as Herod has another chance to believe in Jesus Christ. Gurinder Singh, Charan Singh. Charan Singh is the Jesus Christ, 1st and 20th century, who was in my womb, Eve's womb, Einstein's womb. He has another chance to believe in Singh Bird song, Jagat Singh, also a perfect living master of Jesus Christ's discipline and conscience. He has another chance to believe in Michael J. Spear, who was Sawan, saying, all of these saints lived and headed the Dara in India, and they saved millions of souls. And they're now in my family. Gurinder Singh is my husband. Charan Singh is my baby. Jagat Singh is my son. Michael Spear is my husband of 37 years. He, Gary Bird, clearly blew it. All the time and patience and effort Eve gave him, the ghostly sights that I could see. He, Gary, may as well be as dead as Jerry B., Jerry Bledsoe, a Virgo drunk as a skunk at the party. That's the secret. The body drunks get after human birth. You see, the bodies human beings get after drinking and being alcoholics in the human form is a skunk's body. When they die, they become skunks, unless they're attached to someone of great worth, emotionally, mutually. Trying to turn the page here. Many people can't stand the snake because it's bad reputation in the Garden of Eden. Breathing even. Eve had to be as a snake, no spine. Let Adam fathom their Einstein was a genius even then, was able to survive because he figured out how to lie low on his belly as a snake, how to slip and slide, how to glide by. Then Cain was born, who adored mild red as a sled, or as she led, she still could make him feel a thrill tumbling. When you tumble down on a sled down a mountain, right? The Michelle Birdsong face of bling. Her face was so pretty, it was like having bling, diamonds. Ape Michael Bublé could sing, do my thing. Today that's called opera, singing the most subtle vocal sounds in music. The duplication of the ape's pain as in ape language. Saying opera is ape speak, ape song. Eve did that as Marian Anderson. Marian Anderson was a black opera singer. Eve still enjoys finding beauty in unfathomable to some moments. Some people find opera unfathomable to call beautiful. They don't call it beautiful. And they find it unfathomable as to how anyone could call it beautiful. Some homosexuals like Madame Butterfly and Swan Lake. That's actually a ballet. As for Steve L.W. for Wonder. Stevie Wonder Will Adam's Key. Sympathy. Adam received unconditional love from Eve in the beginning, crawling on her belly to not be seen beneath, because to be seen was as to be knocked down again. That's what apes do. Then, when she could no longer hide from her pride, she died. But the world always needed a mother, so she would always arise and be despised as she gave the children a free ride and let herself be denied the star of the sun god. She is the star of the sun god, created in the sky. Even he was willing to let his star die so she could be out of her pain, burn out so she wouldn't have to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortunes that was Shakespeare's when Eve was Shakespeare, being the food for the mine train. Cookie, cookie. I guess that's the Mayans. Cookie, cookie. I'm crying. I can't see the words. I can't cry. I gotta see the words. Is that Martin Luther King a MCK name? Oh, a nickname. Cookie Cookie is a nickname for a male. A male is an animal who looked like a monster, who said important shit. You favor Helen, but minnow, you're an ass, a butt is an ass. Men know that minnow may save you all. That's why Willie Davis said to me, let me keep up with you. I always want to know what you're doing in life, because he knew I was going to save the world. He just didn't know in words. You have your things back to New York. U-Haul. Sing U-Haul. Get a U-Haul and bring your things back to New York and save the family tree, thereby saving the world as a heaven it was meant to be or not to be. Again, that's Shakespeare asked that question. Don't keep hurting, and Shakespeare was Eve. Don't keep hurting Mama Sally. Her blindness caused a cure for others. Mama Sally was Ostara Gloria, who turned a blind eye because her husband was molesting her daughter, and then cataracts grew over her eyes. And Sharon Singh, Jesus Christ, created an eye camp for elders who had cataracts. So that removed a lot of the karma from Ostara, because what she suffered benefited mankind and womankind. Her style, Mama Sally's style, plaits, cause a way to avoid daily kinks without numbing the head, with people pulling your hair and combing your hair so hard it made your head have to numb up so it wouldn't feel the pain. Mama Sally's chest of drawers of hope. She had a honeymoon lingerie in her hope chest. Gave the idea of hope. ID each. Say which idea provided hope. Gave a safe space for hope till all who cared to spoke an energy. Okay, I think I'm going to stop for now. It's 28 minutes. So what this last part is saying this, Eve is giving credit where credit is due. She is identifying each word of hope anybody gave anybody else and rewarding them for it, for they belong in heaven for doing such a good deed as encouraging somebody. Dr. Jordan Peterson Muhammad talks about everybody needs encouragement. Okay, so encouragement is greatly treasured in heaven. Okay, that's all. Thank you for now. I'll make a volume 2 for this.